Can I rant about my favorite team? You have not seen a lot of Boston Celtics videos on this channel. One, because they're a good team, but two, because they are my favorite team. And I like to, even though I am a Celtics fan, I like to stay unbiased. I like to look at the NBA as a whole and not from this um biased view to where I can't enjoy anybody but the Celtics. So that's why you barely see videos just on the Celtics on this channel. I think this is maybe the first one. And it won't be the last, but I haven't done it and I want to talk about them. The Boston Celtics over the past 2 years have had great. I think they won 64 games last year. They won 61 this year. There is two phenomenal seasons. If you get over 60 wins, you are one of the best teams in the league. Last year we were the best team by far. We smoked the East by like I think 14 games, and then the next closest team out west I think was 8 games behind us. This year we're only 3 wins worse, but there are two teams that are better. The Cavs with 64 and then the Thunder with 68. Now last year y- a lot of people immediately like this as soon as we got Drew Holiday picked us to win because it kind of we didn't see anybody to rival us, and it was right. We ran through the East. We ran through the whole playoffs 16-3. Um talk what you want. Sure, people got hurt. Butler wasn't there in the first round. Donovan Mitchell got hurt in the last game of the Cavs series, and then Tyrese Halliburton got hurt the last 2 games of the, Eastern Conference Finals. Everyone was there from the Mavericks. We went through to 5 games in 3 of the series, and then we swept in 1 series. We have had a great 2 years. This year, they are my pick to make it back to the final. Like I think we can handle Cleveland. Their team isn't too different. Obviously, the style that they play under Kenny Atkinson is very different. That's why they went from barely missing out on being a 50-win team last year to now they are the second best record in the league and the best in the East. But I think the Celtics will win. The Thunder, I think if I'm looking at it from this unbiased point of view, I think the Thunder are really the only team that can take us out, and I think they will. I sadly think when I look at this from a broader view and not from what I'm just hoping for, I think the Thunder win that series in 7 games. But I'm not saying this as in like they clear the water. The Celtics are still they are pretty much the same team from last year. The only thing we don't have is we lost O'Shea Brissett, we lost Jaden Springer, and we lost Svi Mikhailuk. And this year we have Torrey Craig and a rookie Baylor Shireman, our rookie. This team, the core, let's say core 9 between obviously the starters Pritchard, Hauser, Horford, and Cornette, all still here. Um, Pritchard obviously has taken a jump, 6 man of the year. He hasn't played too much. He didn't play too much or too well in the first round, I will say, which kind of surprised me, especially since Drew Holiday missed the last 3 games or so of that series. Hauser hasn't done anything. Horford is still playing like one of the greatest older players in the league because he is behind like the Curry, Durant, LeBron. He's probably if you count in age and his role slash impact, he's probably fourth on that list. Um, Cornette has. I'm not a huge Luke Cornette fan. I will say he does what we need, but I think we can get that from like a Kada as well, who I thought should be getting more minutes, and he got minutes in the regular season. But Cornette has been playing better, I will say. But I'm just not the hugest Luke Cornette fan. And yeah, I mean the starters. I mean Drew Holiday hasn't had the same year as last year. He's been a lot more injury riddled as we've seen. Derek White's our third best player. Um, just based off availability and the impact he has on both sides. Like obviously Drew is still one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. Derek White is a great perimeter defender, but Derek White's offense smokes Drew Holiday's. And then Porzingis, in theory, he is our third best talent. He should be our third best player. But when you talk about injuries, pretty much missing half of last year and close to half of this year, I would say Derek White's our third best player. Porzingis is he loves Boston. He's been so great. He makes the Celtics a mismatch nightmare, a defensive nightmare when he's on. And the first few games of this series versus the Magic, he wasn't really on. Jalen Brown, he's still a great player. He made an All-Star team this year. His shooting numbers went down again from what they were in the past couple, but he's still an elite defender and loves taking on, the best player on defense, which I think is a great thing. He's if we're being honest, he's Luca's like nightmare. He does great on ball steals and putting the pressure on when he needs to in the half court. But just he wasn't as efficient, wasn't as great. 3-point shot wasn't as great. And then Jason Tatum. I mean, he's gonna make his fourth straight All NBA first team, something that I don't think has ever been done for the Celtics. I mean, the only people that you would think had done this would be Larry Bird. He made Okay, never mind. Larry Bird, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Larry Bird made nine in a row, but he's the best player in Celtics history. Not the greatest, the best. But like Paul Pierce, he never made an All NBA first team. Um, I don't even think All NBA was around when Bill Russell was playing. Oh no, it was. Okay, let's see. In a row, the most Bill Russell got on first team was one. I would assume because there was a guy named Will Chamberlain, so he got pushed to second team a lot. But I mean, he is only a one, two, three-time All NBA first team player, which it's great. So, and then I mean, other guys are great, but Tatum he's a top five player. He's been the best American born player in the league for the past, I would say, 3 years. Um, Celtics fans will love to hear that. I'm sure other people won't because people don't like the Celtics, and that's okay. You don't have to like everybody or be, unbiased to teams like I am. But there are, I mean, he was right. The Olympic stuff that happened last year rubbed people the wrong way. It did rub me the wrong way too. The fact that he didn't play him, Tyrese Halliburton. There was a game where he didn't play Joel Embiid. Um, and I thought that was strange. I'm not gonna talk about how I feel about Steve Kerr, but that was strange. Um, a lot of people didn't like that he didn't get Finals MVP. I did thought he should have got Finals MVP because he did everything, right? Jalen Brown mainly got it because I mean he had similar scoring numbers. His efficiency wasn't great either, but he had the task of guarding Luka Doncic, and he did amazing at it. So he got it. I'm not mad that Jalen Brown got it. I'm just saying I was a little surprised when they called it at the end of last finals. Um, I think that just scoring wise, Tatum's averaged 30 the past few years around like the 3 years ago, and then he averaged like 27. This year he averaged 27. He sits around that 27 points per game mark. His playmaking has gone up every year of his career, all 8 years. He's one of the best rebounders at his position, grabbing almost nine a game. And there really isn't much that Tatum can't do. He is not the he's not the best at any one thing by far. Like I know his shot selection, I know his decision making sometimes is still a little up in the air, but he's an amazing scorer. He's an amazing passer. He's a great rebounder, He could get steals. I think he led the team in steals. He can get a block, like a great block every game, every other game. Um, he's an okay free throw shooter. There are times that him and Brown, it kills me with them at the free throw line because it seems like they never go perfect. But I will say, after Tatum went 0 for 4 from the free throw line in that Orlando first game, he went like 45 for 45 in the following games, which amazing. That's what we need from a guy like him. But again, there's just nothing that he can't do. I trust Tatum to do everything. Tatum is the point guard of the Boston Celtics, and some people don't know what that means if you're not a Celtics fan or a Celtics watcher. You don't even need to be a fan, but if you watch the Celtics on the regular, you know that Drew Holiday and Derek White are the guards of the team. But they are like the versatile wings. Obviously, they do playmaking. They do all that stuff that guards would do, but Tatum is the one that is facilitating and bringing the ball, starting plays 90% of the time, and he's amazing at it, which is why he's our point forward. Um, but the other reason I wanted to make this video is because there was Shams just put out the Celtics will be looking in the offseason to make salary freeing moves. And if you don't know what that means, basically the Boston Celtics, they are a second apron team. I've said it before, I don't know much about the cap. I just know the second apron is something that once you are in you can't be in it for much longer. And we were in it last year. We're in it this year. And this is it's pretty much what they're saying is this is the last year, most likely, of the Fab Five, whatever you want to call them. The Fab Five is something else, but of this, great starting lineup, which pretty much to me means the odd man out is Drew Holiday. Now, I love Drew Holiday. He's probably been, I don't know. I mean, I just love him. I've loved him since he was on the Bucks. Um, he's a great player, but right, he's getting up there. I think he's 34, maybe. He's 34. He's about to be 35 in June. But it's no secret that he's fallen off, and it's no secret that we have a point guard on the bench who still fits our team. Now, he is not the defender that Drew Holiday is, but Peyton Pritchard does a lot of things, even if it's not defending at a top 5 for his position like Drew Holiday is. He's a good scorer, he's a good passer, he's a good offensive rebounder for his size too, and he just does a lot. And then we have guys like JD Davison, who, again, if you don't follow the G League or the Celtics, you don't know who that is, but he was the G League MVP. He's been in the G League, I mean, maybe 3 years. I don't when was he drafted? He was drafted in the second round of the 2022 NBA draft, and we're about to be in the 25 NBA draft. And he really hasn't ever gotten any burn. I mean, he played 12 games his rookie year, but he played 5 minutes. 8 games last year, 5 minutes. 16 games this year, 6 minutes. He has never gotten the opportunity, and I think that means that Drew Holiday will most likely be out the door, no matter what happens this year. It's gonna hurt if we win and we got to trade him because it's like, ooh, we got 2 in a row. Do we go for a three-peat, which hasn't been done since the 2000 Lakers? But they can't. They're not trading Tatum or Brown unless they have to, which it doesn't seem like they are. They both just signed 2 of the biggest deals in NBA history, like one right after another. Derek White has been too good to trade. Again, like I said, he's been our third best player. And there's also a world where it could be Porzingis. But the thing is, our center, depending on because pretty much what this means is you have to trade Drew Holiday or Porzingis or whoever they end up choosing out of those few players, they have to trade for someone who is not as expensive because when you are a second apron team, you cannot aggregate contracts, which mean that I cannot trade Kristaps Porzingis. Let's theoretically say he makes 30 million on the dot. I cannot go and trade him for Bam Adebayo, who theoretically makes 38 million because we have the salary would have to be 30 million on the dot, the exact number for us to make a trade. We saw with the Milwaukee Bucks, they traded Chris Middleton for Kyle Kuzma, and that got them out of the second apron. Say what you want about that trade, how those players have performed in their spots, whatever, but they did it to get below the second apron, which is a good thing. So pretty much we're gonna have to trade which is why I think it's Drew Holiday because we can trade Drew Holiday for lesser players like maybe bench players, like another shooting guard or small forward, and it won't affect us too much because we have another point guard who's ready to take his spot in Payne Pritchard, who is under contract for very cheap. But you trade Porzingis, I mean, who knows how long Al Horford has? And if you're the Celtics who want to compete, never want to stop competing, you don't want Luke Cornett starting or Kada to start or whoever. You want to so that's why I think Porzingis might be safe at least until we find another center option that fits or that we are feel confident in. So that's why I think it would probably be Drew Holiday out the door. But again, I don't necessarily like that this has come out now. I'm not saying that the Celtics are now gonna beef in the locker room, being like Derek White and Drew Holiday are like, I'm not getting traded, it's you. I don't think that's something that will happen, but it's something that we knew it would have to come. The second apron has destroyed and will destroy a lot of teams that could make runs and be, historic teams. But that's the NBA wanting to keep parity in the league and not have you know, a Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Golden State Warriors again, most likely. And I'm not saying that the Celtics team that's what they are. They are certainly not Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, but they are. It's been a great couple years, and I don't know. I think we can win this year. I don't want to rub my fellow Celtic fans the wrong way because I said the Thunder will win. It's just me looking at it from a broad standpoint, an unbiased standpoint, and like analyzing what has happened throughout the NBA season. And that is why I think that again the Celtics could very well be back in the finals, but it's going to be harder than last year. But again, nonetheless, I'm still rooting for this team. I'm still, going for this team. I still think they can win it all, but we got some tall mountains to climb. Whether you believe in the Cavs or not, they are a 64 win team for a reason. Whether or not you think the Thunder are too young, they are an almost 70 win season, one of the best teams of all time for a reason. So, I mean, not much else I have to say, but hopefully this guy can bring it home for us again. Maybe he gets his first Finals MVP. Maybe it goes back to Jaylen Brown, which there's almost a part of me that's like Tatum needs to win it because I don't know if I can handle the conversations if Jaylen Brown wins a second one if we do win this year and Jason Tatum doesn't have another because again, you could argue that last year should have been Tatum's and this year if they win will be Tatum's. So, but again, we're still we made it to the second round. We're going against the New York Knicks. It's official after the Knicks beat the Pistons last night, and it's going to be a good series. If I'm saying predictions, now everyone immediately thinks of the Knicks didn't beat any of the top three teams at all this season. That being the Thunder, Cavs, and Celtics. They were 0-10 versus all of them combined. Playoffs are different. Jalen Brunson has been on a roll. He's been a top 5 player in the playoffs this year, and I don't I think we're not sweeping, but we're not going to 7. So I'm debating between Maybe giving the Knicks 2 games. Maybe giving the next 2 games, but we need to win. We need to win the 2 at home to start off. Like, the Knicks cannot take one of the first 2 games, and then we need to go and take at least one in Madison Square Garden, hopefully putting us up 3-1. I don't wanna be stuck in a 2-2, maybe end up going to a game 7, maybe letting the Knicks take a 2-3 lead. Like, I don't wanna hear any of that, hopefully. So hopefully we handle the early games and we take care of business at the end. But who do we have playing tonight? The Golden State Warriors and the Houston Rockets, game 6. They are in Golden State. A lot of people thought that the Golden State Warriors lost on purpose so they can win in their home arena. No, you don't do that in the first round. You make in the finals, it makes sense. Like when people said that about the Celtics giving Dallas that game in the finals last year, that made sense. Or maybe even the conference finals, I can get behind. But I give the, I think the war. As much as I want the Rockets to extend this to a game 7, I don't know if the Warriors will let that happen. I think Curry might have a nuclear game today because he didn't have a great game last time. So I think the Warriors close it out, and then they will officially play the Minnesota Timberwolves in the next season. But we've still got a lot. We got Clippers Nuggets that'll be tomorrow. Just in case I don't make a video before then, I'm going Clippers. I've been riding with the Clippers since the start of this series. Even though before the series I picked the Nuggets, but we're not going to talk about that. I did switch jump boats, but but I'm picking Clippers. But again, we'll be back, talk about the Celtics. We will preview the second round when everything becomes official, and that'll probably be the next video that you see from me.